NCAA champion?
Oh, it feels amazing. I mean, I know 2 days ago I was asked the question, why the NCAA, why peak for this, and not just focus on a long-term, world global championship. And I know that there's goals down the line, but I think to win an NCAA championship is really special because it shows that you can show up and win on the day, even if it's not, a full U.S. stage. And so, to me, it was a big goal, and I'm glad that I was able to pull it off, and just as a part of my training towards a long-term goal.
Can you walk me through the decision-making you made after Kiowa made that surge? You didn't really counter it immediately, so what was your thought process there?
Yeah, I knew that there was going to be kind of ebbs and flows to the race, and I knew that because he wasn't the one to take it out at first, which, was definitely a possibility. I told myself I'd be ready for anything, but the fact that he didn't take it out at first, I knew that he would be willing to make a surge probably 2/3 of the way through or towards the end. But I felt confident that at that pace, which was already hot, that anybody that made a move was still going to pay the last lap. And so I knew that I just needed to kind of keep the string short enough, even if there was a gap where I could feel confident the last lap. And the string never got too long, and I could feel the tension. And the last lap felt very similar to last year's trials, where it caught me off guard when I was passing people because everyone seemed like they were standing still. And I was like, okay, no one's accelerating. This is my time to go. So although he had a gap, I could feel that there was no acceleration the last lap, and so I felt confident.
To that point, even before the last water jump, I started to see that energy being generated. Just how good did that feel to start revving it up and then to be able to execute the last water jump, the last barrier the way you did?
Yeah, good. It's funny. I feel like I've trained it's kind of like overspeed training in practice. You're willing to do a little more risky stuff in practice, and so I've run very fast hurdle laps in practice, and I didn't have to do that today. But if anything, my coach's words were echoing in my mind, which is stay clear of the barrier, be very intentional. And so I found myself more than trying to go insane the last 300, just be calm and controlled and give enough, but still get well over the barriers. And so while I didn't feel like I was going maybe 100%, I was certainly giving as much as I could safely, and it definitely felt good to be getting, if anything, just clearing them safe. So that felt good.
James, 5 years ago, we did our official visit at BU together.
Yeah.
You ended up going to BYU, but
That's okay. I don't know why, right?
On that visit, you obviously had huge goals for the NCAA. It was very clear from the beginning, and now you made it to the top. How does that feel?
It feels great. Yeah, I feel like every athlete has their own idea of where they're going to be at, and it doesn't always show on the outside. But I think as I've done things and I've accomplished things in my running career, sometimes it's less of a shock and more of like okay, this is the next step, is where I should be. There's definitely been shocks about how fast things have happened, but I'm definitely appreciative of everything that's happened today, and I'm going to go home very, very grateful.
BYU has a very proud history in this event specifically. How does it feel to add your name to the list of BYU champions in steeple?
Oh, it feels amazing. Actually, as I was doing my victory lap, Kenneth Brooks, former champion, caught me over by the steeple water pit, which is, kind of cool. That's one of Kenneth's strengths, and so I admire him for that. But it was kind of poetic to see him there, and I thought about how special it was to take another dub for BYU and just continue raising the precedent there at the bar.
Do you still run every workout with him, even though he's a pro now, or how often do you train with him?
We're still on very different schedules, and so even last year we did a couple workouts postseason, but a lot of our stuff is separate just because the nature of the NCAA season is very different than the pro scene. This year we're trying to incorporate a lot more workouts together, and I was able to do more than I normally would with him. But now that I'm officially done with NCAAs, we can train every workout together.
You had referenced after the semifinals that just for you personally, maybe in April, it was like, okay, is this all going to come together at the right time? And especially that also happened to just coincide, perhaps by pure chance of when Joffrey went out at Brian Clay and was putting Henry Rono back in everybody's mouth and stuff like that. But just your trust in the coaches, their belief in you, just to be like, it's okay, he's on his timetable, I'm on mine, and we'll see each other in June.
Yeah, it was tough. I was very intentional with the plan, and I felt very confident. And then when those times were run, I honestly did not bat an eye. I was like, you know what, I'm going to be ready when I need to be ready. But I think probably a week or two later, when I was planning on running Peyton Jordan, and I had geared up for that race, and then no one was there, and I ran at 8:30, and it felt tough. I was like, okay, now I'm a little worried, because you worry when you don't get some of that high-level competition, where even if you're fit enough to do something, if you can't get the chance to push yourself either hard enough in practice or in a race, it's difficult to activate what you're fit enough for and to make use of it. And so I got a little worried there, but my coaches were really good at helping me just remember, hey, you're doing the work, you're going to be able to perform. And so I got back to my feet and stayed calm about it.
you have eligibility left?
I do. I have 2 more seasons of cross country and a year of indoor and outdoor track.
So you'll be back in the fall?
We'll see. Leave it at that.
TBD.
Yeah, we'll hit a team meeting and talk about that. But I am very glad to say that things are going in a good direction where I have options.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, guys.
Well done.